Hey Dreamer please.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So as we know, there are many features that Seven Knights has, but some things can still be improved. So in this video, I want to talk about some of the quality of life changes I hope Dev Kagura and team can implement to make the game better. And of course, the first thing on everyone's mind is to revamp and expand the equipment inventory. Well, first things first, given that we have tons and tons of synthesis material and event currencies which we need to store for an extended period of time, I think it is only natural if they do expand the inventory space beyond 500 at no charge. Some players have also said that each of the sections in the inventory should have 500 slots each, bringing the total to 1500, and that's definitely going to be so good. But just for more realistic reasons, I made a mock inventory to hopefully give Netmarble an idea. So the total inventory here has increased to 1000, and I also think there should be an extra section temporarily named Others, where all the event currencies, guild dungeon coins will go, and basically this houses items which are not actual equipment and are not equipment related upgrading materials. Or we can simply categorize these items as synthesis materials. This really helps to reduce scrolling time and also makes everything more convenient to access. What do you guys think of this possibility? And there are also two other inventory related changes which I hope can happen. The first is an accessory substat swap system. Partially, this thought came about because of the lack of space, because when we hoard onto so many useless accessories which are not right for the meta, it doesn't feel right to sell them or use them as unlocked material either way. Sometimes you may have extra base accessories lying in your inventory, but you simply can't afford to use these substat accessories on your precious base accessories. So a substat swap system can help to let us actually free up space by upgrading some base accessories with these unused substats and have the freedom to change the substat when the need arises. However, I do recognize that this is potentially a reduction in revenue for Netmarble in the long run, so I felt that maybe such a system can happen once a month and only allow players to make one swap so that even older players can attempt to keep up with the meta in terms of accessory substats and base accessory access. I think having an event like this would also be more encouraging for players. Another suggestion is to have a more convenient equipment unequip and re-equip system, and that is an equipment swap. Currently, if we have limited pieces of gear and we need to move pieces of equipment from hero to hero, we have to unequip an item from a hero, head over to the view item screen and then find the item we want, find the hero who has that item and then unequip it and head back to the first hero screen to equip it. And the problem with this method is that if you have a full inventory, you can't do any unequipping or re-equipping. What if Netmarble simply streamlined the whole process and included a swap option and deduct the necessary gold during the swap? So what if we can simply click on the piece of equipment and then choose to exchange it with another hero instantly? There are many games which have this feature, so I think it's something which Seven Knights should keep up with. And that said, many games also have removed the very traditional idea of having a cost when changing equipment, so you know what I mean. Speaking of removing costs, I think one of the most important costs which should be reviewed is the Topaz cost for trade changes. Honestly, we are no longer in a time where the game only has certain trending status effects. There are just simply too many status effects in the game. In PvP, in Guild Raid, Castle Rush, Raid and Guild Dungeon especially. Topaz isn't the easiest currency to come by, and it flows away so fast within a span of 2 weeks that it's impossible to feel even the slightest carefreeness in playing all these modes at once. Sometimes I feel like trying Guild Raid out properly, but the thought of spending Topaz just for a few minutes of either fast battles or impossibly tough battles just doesn't feel worth it. Even if it's not something which can be removed completely, I strongly urge that the cost is reduced because it will greatly increase player satisfaction. The next QOL update I want to have would be a stop button when we auto power up our heroes. I know that by using this function, it is assumed that we want to mass power up in the fastest way possible. But sometimes we do it to make space in our hero inventory, especially when we gacha furiously. And if I just need some space, I don't exactly want to over-sacrifice my fodder. I don't want to sacrifice 100 fodder when it's possible that I get the hero I want in the next pool. Again, I don't think this is something very difficult to implement, and I hope could be done. Sometimes there are certain features that may not be useful to everyone but can still be useful when the need arises, and I think this is one of those features. The fourth change, or rather inclusion, I will need is to actually see the hero sanctum buffs being applied onto the respective heroes. Currently, if you complete the buff, they are only reflected in the hero sanctum window and not in your hero's stats screen. So you may have already hit a certain percentage of a stat, but you don't exactly know. And in the same vein of things, I hope that guild buff stat boosts, especially for crit rate and lethal rate, can also be reflected across all heroes to make life so much easier in terms of calculation. The reason I think these should be visible easily is because these are group buffs, which are more or less fixed for your account. It is unlike support hero passes, which can come and go more flexibly, so not reflecting those will be okay. But guild buffs don't change too often, and hero sanctum buffs are also permanent, so hopefully they can implement this to give all players a better idea of their hero's actual buffs, which helps players make better decisions during item equipping. The fifth suggestion is from my guild leader Neo, and that is to have a bulk purchase option for selectors in shops. Let's use the Castle Rush shop for example. If I want to buy hero tickets, I can easily buy 10 at a time. If I want to get selectors however, I can only get 1 per click, and I have to make the selection on screen before they issue the selector. So why not just perhaps let us choose in bulk and send the amount to our inbox? It definitely helps to save some bit of time when making bulk purchases. The sixth suggestion is something which is event-based. It is also derived from other games which I play, where during a certain time of the week or month, there are increased rate ups for rewards while playing the game. Remember we used to have half key cost for raids last year? Of course I think that's no longer possible, but perhaps we can have days with Typhoon Essence rate up, days with Black Gemstone rate up. In fact, we also used to have soul shard acquisition limit increases, and I felt it was those times where players could spend more time in the game as the rewards are immediately visible and more encouraging for progress. The last suggestion is something which I came across from the Facebook page by player Emilio Costa. He says that given the beautiful wallpapers which Seven Knight has, there should be a function to hide all the icons on the screen and let players screenshot the background with their heroes. I thought that was a really neat idea, and by some weird coincidence there was one day when my game glitched and all the icons really disappeared, leaving me with this beautiful scene. I would love if they have a separate photo booth mode altogether where we can zoom in on our heroes and rotate them as if they were really hanging out wherever they are at. So those are some of the few things which I thought can be implemented into the game soon, and I think it's important for you guys to leave in the comments what are the little quality of life updates you wish to see as well, so it can generate more attention. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel too. Stay tuned for more guides. Thank you so much and see you!